So this is what I would highly recommend if you want to build a fast 5.7 Hemi Ram or a fast Ram 1500 in general. These are the mods I would recommend that you got to do. It's not going to be cheap, but it's going to be worth it. If you want to build something fast, costs money. So first thing, you got to understand, you got to have some money, you got to have some capital. You don't have to have a lot of money. It doesn't require a lot of money, but it does require you to have some cash you're willing to spend to be able to do so. Now, what you plan on doing, you can go about this many ways. You can do this a lot of different ways. Back to another video. Good afternoon, or whatever time you're, good night, whatever. Right now for me it's the afternoon, just got off work, so I'm gonna be sharing with you guys how you can achieve building a fast Ram 1500. Yes, I know, one thing, it will be better if you got a single cab. It'll be easier for you to be able to make a lot of power with a single cab, because you're less heavier compared to like a quad cab, crew cab, and stuff like that. Now, but it really doesn't really matter, but it just really matter on like the modification you're gonna be doing though. But now, you might be asking yourself exactly where you want to start. So exactly where you want to start, honestly gonna have to be under the hood. If you want to build, if you want to have a fast car in general, truck in general, I'm saying, like, this is for Ram 1500 in general. If you want to have a fast truck, you got to start from under the hood. And I would recommend you could keep the 5.7 Hemi and build it, or it's going to be a little bit more cheaper, but not really much of a difference, because you still got to do a whole lot of stuff to be able to make it to be making like real fast, like, become something way deadly. I'll say something fast, I'll say. Now, this is what I would recommend to be, in my personal opinion, what I've seen, what I see a lot of guys doing now is just completely doing a swap, getting rid of your 5.7 Hemi and just completely going over to a 6.4 Hemi. Now 6.4 Hemi, BGE block, whatever, this and that, I would recommend that you do so. Just completely going that route, buying yourself a brand new block, or use, if you can find it somehow, somewhere, save yourself some kind of money. A brand new gonna cost you somewhere around like 6-7 grand out the door and stuff like that. But now, the biggest thing to what really gonna be the key for you to achieve like real good power would be like you doing like completely just, I'm just saying, like, I don't mind, I don't have anything against like the 5.7 Hemi. I'm not saying that it's not, you can't make it fast with you adding mods, so you most definitely could, but realistically it's gonna take a lot of mods and it's gonna cost you a little bit more money to do so. So now, with that being said, I would say completely just start off with get a 6.4 Hemi BGE block. And then once you get the block, now you can go with Eagle heads, or you can whatever kind of heads you plan on doing. That also would be able to help. Now there's little stuff that you could do with you, depending on what you what's your intention with you building your truck. You want to race it, you want to use it as a daily driver, this and that, all of that extra stuff really gonna come down to you. But once you get your block, you get the heads, now you start asking, you have to go with bigger size injectors. Now while you're there, one of them things is, you can upgrade from a 6.4 Hemi intake manifold that you're gonna need anyway for your 6.4 Hemi block, or you could just go the route of you just throwing on a supercharger, Whipple supercharger. Now that's gonna be another pricey thing, but this everything I'm telling you guys that I'm naming, it will be worth it, but it's gonna cost a little bit more money. The reason why I recommend a Whipple supercharger, because the Whipple supercharger is just like, it's not like compared to like a turbo supercharger where it is, you know, you get that instant boost that you want, like with a Whipple supercharger. I'm saying, like, it's not you gotta wait a couple seconds for your car, this and that. When you know how when you hit the throttle, a Whipple supercharger power kick in like instantly and stuff like that. And I personally think that with me, like with my knowledge, any kind of fast Rams out there at the end of the day, most of the time go with a Whipple supercharger. Like, I'm not saying that, oh, you can't achieve fast power, this and that, without a Whipple, this and that. You could, most definitely, but I just prefer like getting like a Whipple supercharger. Once you get a Whipple supercharger, that would be like, will spice things up a little bit more for you, especially when you want to achieve whatever power you're trying to get. You know, whatever power you're trying to get. And then another thing I forgot to mention to you guys, if your goal is for you to make a lot of power, like, you could get a block already that's brand new that they built, where it is capable of making at least like easy, at least like 1,000 to the wheels. I'm saying like easy. It's not even like, from my understanding, like the blocks that they built at pretty much at the MMX and stuff, built those blocks, like those 6.4 BGE blocks, definitely is way more capable of, like, it's a brand new block. Even though it's I wouldn't say expensive, but the price, $6 grand for it, $7 grand out the door. It's a little bit, might be on the steep side for most people, but I think it's worth it because you're gonna have a brand new block, and with just you adding a few things on with the right tune, you could be able to hit at least like 1,000 to the wheels, like easy. I'm saying like a couple things, you just got to do it the right way. You can be able to achieve that, because that block is pretty much made to handle that much power. Now you got yourself your block, you figure out what kind of heads and stuff, injectors, all that little stuff you're gonna need with the block. Now the next thing I would say, now you got it. Now, why this one of them things that goes hand in hand. If you're gonna get a brand new block, whatever used, going, especially if you're coming from a 5.7 going to a 6.4, you definitely gonna need to build your transmission to where it can handle at least 1,000 to the wheels, like 1,000 to the wheels. Now that's gonna be another thing too that's recommended, very necessary. If you got an 8-speed trans, you're gonna have to get it rebuilt to be able to handle that much power. This is like the way I'm explaining it in a way that I know of, that you can go about doing that to make your Ram fast. Now, once you're doing that, the reason why I recommend that you do, like, you might as well do engine, and once you get the engine, all that stuff, do your trans, rebuild, all that stuff, because those are the two biggest things that really play a huge part in your truck making a ton of power. Without you getting a built transmission and you have a powerful engine, later on down the line, you're gonna have to build your trans anyway. While you're there to getting a built transmission, you're gonna have to upgrade to a higher to a converter, all that stuff. Pretty much, that's like for me, this is like the real backbone for you to be able to build a very powerful Ram. I'm telling you guys, very powerful Ram, or whatever transmission you decide to buy to put in there, this and that, that's up to you. Price and all that stuff definitely does play a huge role in. Now you got those, like, let's say you got that, you got the two main things that are gonna play a huge part into you making that much power, right? Now that you have that, what would be the next thing I would recommend for you to do is you want to start talking to like a good person who understands Mopar, like a good tuner that's out there, this and that. There's some good ones out there. Just in the meantime, because once you do all of this stuff, the swap, everything, you're gonna need a tune anyway to be able to make everything work proper. And once you get a tuner who understand everything, pretty sure the reason why I recommend Mopar, a person who does Mopar, because this is something that's been done plenty of times. And I'd rather go to somebody who done something at least like over 1,000 times, know exactly what kind of mods you need to do, know exactly what kind of like tune they gotta, upload into your truck. All that stuff matter, because one thing I know, I mentioned an engine and transmission like the biggest thing, but the tune, whatever custom tune you're gonna be getting, does play a huge role in you achieving, let's say 1,000 to the wheels, 800 to the wheels, or even 600 to the wheels and stuff. Like, it really does play a huge role. But this is really like the go-to step. Now, obviously, little stuff you do got to do after that, depending on your truck year. Let's say if you got a 2014 Ram, like me, it don't require you to do like the PCM unlocking and stuff like that, or it doesn't require you to do none of that. But if you got 2015 and up, I think it does require you to do so. I think it's 2014 and lower. I believe you don't need none of that. But 2015 and up does gonna have to do all of that. Now, if you're gonna be doing all of this stuff, right? Now there's more stuff you do gotta. It does come hand in hand on everything that you will have to do. If you got a crew cab like me or quad cab, you do gotta upgrade gears. You gotta beef up your suspension. Your rear end gotta be real solid, built for, let's say, 800 wheels. Like stuff like this, you're gonna have to do anyway. You don't have to do it right away once you do the swap and all that stuff. But let's say if your goal is for you to go to the track and race, your goal is for you to make 800 to the wheels, right? 800 might not be a lot for some people, but to me that's fast as hell. Now, I would recommend you do get, if it's anything over probably, let's say, I'll say 600. I would recommend you get like you beefed up your suspension, built rear end. Your front end also got to be intact with the right, you want to have like the right stuff on there, like springs, suspension, all that stuff, because all that stuff really does play a role somehow too in you building a powerful Ram 1500. Now, there might be a ton of things I'm leaving out. This is just me giving you guys like my knowledge of what I know. So, I haven't done it yet. I'm planning on doing the same thing, but I know it's been done plenty of times. It's not rocket science. It could be done when you do it like it, things could turn out good if you do it the right way. But this is just like, if you plan on like me building your Ram and you want to build like a fast truck, it's definitely something that's doable, but you just got to keep in mind, it just costs a little bit more money, and it's not like a quick bolt on mods and stuff like that, but it's definitely something that's worth it. But it's not complicated at all. It's not complicated at all. I'm not giving you any kind of advice. I'm not no expert at the end of the day. On myself, I'm learning as I go, but just giving you guys my own personal opinion. If you guys are here for your first time on the channel, do your boy a favor, click that subscribe button, help support the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and take care.